Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
With Canelo Alvarez, Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout?
Like it's honest, but again, I want to see them fight. I want to see some aggression. Tank would have that if it was anyone he actually felt was worth it. I just don't know if he thinks Jake's worth it. Again, I get that feeling that he just is there.
Jake Paul's newest move is training with Shakur Stevenson before his fight with Gervonta Davis. Paul said that Stevenson offered to help and join his training camp, which adds serious value to his preparation. He explained that his team has brought in several skilled southpaws fighters who are smaller but fast and experienced enough to challenge him. Shakur's name surprised many since he and Paul had no past connection. Still, Paul believes that working with Stevenson and other sparring partners will sharpen his skills as he gets ready for Tank Davis.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty south.
Some experts have questioned why Jake Paul and Shakur Stevenson suddenly teamed up, calling it strange and suspicious. They think Stevenson may have accepted the sparring role mainly for money, similar to when Jaron Boots Ennis helped Canelo Alvarez train for Terrence Crawford. The difference is that Canelo and Boots already have family connections, while Jake and Shakur have none. Because of that, people think Paul offered Stevenson a big paycheck to join him. This has started debates over whether Stevenson's choice was purely about business instead of boxing passion, showing how odd this partnership is between the fighters who never had any link before.
Shakur Stevenson reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terrence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's against a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly to make it happen?
Shakur Stevenson tried to clear things up when asked about the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. He said that if he were in Tank's position, he'd see the fight in two ways. From a business view, it makes sense because of the money and attention. But as a fighter, Stevenson admitted he wouldn't take that kind of matchup himself. His comments highlight the gap between treating boxing as business and seeing it as pure sport. Some critics think sparring with Jake Paul looks questionable, but Shakur openly admits that money plays a big part in such decisions. He points out that modern boxing often mixes entertainment with real competition.
So can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
okay.
It just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So as a business, I understand. I ain't going to hate on the decision, but as a man
your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
Fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made.
At the official press conference, Things got heated between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis when they faced off. The two pushed each other, causing a big reaction from fans and the media. Still, many analysts think the moment was staged to create drama and boost pay-per-view sales. In today's boxing world, press event scuffles often help sell fights. The shove between Jake and Tank adds excitement, showing both rivalry and showmanship. The build-up centers on whether the bigger man's power can beat the smaller man's skill, or if speed and technique will win. This kind of stage tension makes even casual fans curious to watch on fight night.
Southpaw orthodox matchup, left hand down the pipe. You can even see here, I'm not even trying to do the whole body language breakdown, but you could even see Tank could get under that left hand because he's 5-0. He could roll under that left hand, and here comes the brick hand over the top. If he lands something like that in 10 ounces, I'm going to tell you this. Jake's 200 and something pounds. That's still going to hurt at the very least, and who knows what, because Tank's got ridiculous power. So Jake, a little sloppy on the push there. He got pushed. He wanted to get it back. There's something to be taken away from that, but lines up perfectly for a counter left hand. And you even see his promoter here is kind of grabbing his left hand because Tank wanted to let it fly. And Jake backed up a little bit. He said, oh, and Tank comes with that. Tank, man. Tank said, where I'm from, the bullies get bullied. All right, dude, there you go. Listen, takeaways from this thing, I don't know. Tank seemed to have a little bit more energy today. He seemed to be more lively. Him going back and forth with the media, with Jay Leon, with Jake, with Aiden Ross. There seemed to be a bit more energy today. That's all I really asked for. So in terms of, selling us on something, sure. Better job today from both guys. Jake, seemed a bit more locked in here with Tank as well. They had a little bit more fun. Tank going after Nikisa was pretty funny. But listen, this doesn't change anything in my mind. The 10-ounce gloves doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, again, I think that's a bad idea for Tank, more so because even if Jake doesn't land clean, those are 10-ounce gloves. It's still going to hurt. Tank is still punching in gloves that are 2 ounces heavier than he normally uses, so I don't know how that's a win for him. The $2 million bet almost certainly won't happen, which I didn't think would in the first place, but Tank pretty much confirmed it. And we're all left with the same kind of idea that we thought about this to begin with. This is an entertainment exhibition that we know is going to draw a ton of eyeballs. I'm going to watch, and there's going to be great high-level competition boxing on the underneath card. And even in the main event, if something is to happen, if someone is to get knocked out, it will go mega viral, and both these guys are going to make a shit ton.
Even though the fight's promotion is full of entertainment, insiders say Gervonta Davis isn't treating it lightly. Analysts have noticed his serious training and focused mindset. They say the stakes are higher than people think. Beating Jake Paul could give Davis a huge payday and major fame beyond boxing. Experts warn that Paul shouldn't take Tank lightly the way he did with older fighters, like Mike Tyson in talk shows. Unlike exhibition opponents, Davis is young, fast, and dangerous. If Paul isn't careful, it could go badly for him. Tank knows the money is great, but losing to a YouTuber would hurt his reputation. So he's training hard.
In this particular, in the press conference, and you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's going to get this money for sure because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson. First of all, Mike Tyson, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I got to say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult believes that if Tank Davis beats Jake Paul, It will make him a hero to fans and purists alike. Many people want to see Jake finally lose after his rise from YouTube to boxing stardom. Shoba says that if Tank knocks Jake out, he'll not just win, he'll make history by giving fans what they've been waiting for. Jake's career has split opinions. Some love his success, others see him as fake. A Davis win would restore boxing's pride and make him even more popular. For many, this fight is more than sport. It's about real boxing defeating entertainment hype.
If Gervonta Tank Davis stops that, if he is the one who stops this whole train, knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero. People will then say, now get the hell out the sport. And I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. That's what they're going to say. Now, it's not going to go on either one of their official records because it's an exhibition. But it doesn't matter because optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
Help you up. We're going to see about it. Help you up. We're going to see.
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him Bambi legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black Two Sugars. That you guys don't want to admit it. Don't bull jive. Think about it. He will be a boxing hero. It will go viral over and over. It's the same thing. No, not even the same. It's not even close. But there was a viral reaction when AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou.
Anthony Joshua can dispose the MMA champion.
When AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou in the first round, it was like, now get out of here.
Former world champion Timothy Bradley has been very direct, calling this matchup an easy payday for Gervonta Davis. He says Tank's world-level experience and technical skill make Jake Paul's threat look minor. Bradley believes Paul has no realistic path to victory. He views the event as low risk and high reward. Both fighters earn millions. But Tank gets the sure win. To him, this isn't about testing Jake's boxing ability, but about using Jake's fame to make Davis an even bigger star. Bradley's take reflects what many experts think. Tank will win easily while gaining money and exposure from the fight.
Your innocence and say that it ain't fixed. Because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happens when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You know, you start reading your own press clippings. That's what Jake is doing. You know, fighting this lower level competition, and now he think he the ish. Now he think he the man. He ain't the man. You kidding me? He is not the man. Oh no, yeah, false sense of security. Now he trying to pick on small folks, right? You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I'm just saying size-wise. Yeah, that's another thing, boxing one-on-one. You can't pay attention to size. Hell no, I told y'all it's the size of the heart, right? In that damn dog. It ain't the size of the damn dog, and I told y'all that, man. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And it's about the smartest dog. Tank too smart for him. Tank got too much boxing IQ for Jake, man. This gonna be easy. Easy. Like I said, man, Tank, please, man. Don't do this to boxing, bro. If there's anything, man, shoot. Man, we can put together some kind of like account for you, a GoFundMe account or whatever, bro.
Analyst Paulie Malignaggi shared his thoughts, suggesting that the fight's location and setup are part of a plan to turn Gervonta Davis into a mainstream superstar. If Tank beats Jake Paul in a major American venue, it would introduce him to new audiences beyond boxing fans. Malignaggi says no one knows the full reason this fight was made, but the business logic is clear. Jake brings attention, Tank brings real skill. Together, they can attract huge crowds. Florida as the host state makes sense too. It's accessible, media-friendly, and full of celebrities, helping this event become one of the biggest shows of the year.
There's obviously a reason why the networks wanted to make Gervonta Davis a star. But let's look at it. And Robert, I want to ask you this. When you looked at the numbers for Canelo, his fight against Crawford, 41 million viewers. That's what they got. It was the most viewed championship fight of this century. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson got 108 million. It got more than double, significantly more than double. Is it the idea of the streaming services, Netflix, where they're following the numbers, Robert, and that's where the numbers are?
It's what we're coming to, the real fights, the real fights where they deserve to be seen throughout the world are, it's great. They have good numbers, but when you see guys, that are YouTubers, guys that are 60-year-old retired and coming back, and getting 2 times more than what a real fight, it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing, kind of sad that we're getting there, that we're in that situation. But I also can't blame them. They're all making a lot of money. That's why Tank is doing it. I think it's ridiculous. It's a joke. But I can't go against that either. He's making a lot of money. Jake Paul is doing his thing. Jake Paul is he makes these fights happen and gets the views. So people are tuning in. That's the problem, that people are tuning in.
Promoter Nikiza by Darian drew attention with his comments about the fight rules. He confirmed that both fighters will wear 10-ounce gloves, which is standard for lighter divisions, but unusual because Jake is bigger. When asked if there's a rehydration clause, he didn't answer, leaving fans curious if Tank will face limits on gaining weight after the weigh-in. These clauses can greatly affect performance. The lack of details has fueled rumors that Jake's team may have added terms to make the fight fairer. By keeping rules secret, promoters build hype and mystery, ensuring fans closely watch every development as fight day gets closer.
At 195 max weight,
okay,
10 3-minute rounds,
okay,
and 12-ounce gloves. And most of you guys know boxing, right? Most of the fights are with 10-ounce gloves. Fighters spar in 16-ounce gloves. 12-ounce and 10-ounce gives you a little bit more safety, which is the key here, given the size difference, but there's a massive experience difference. We will have 3 world-class judges ringside that the commission has approved to ensure there's a rendered decision for the fans. It will not go on their record, but there will be 3 experienced judges, some of the best in the business, giving their view of who won the fight.
So let me just follow up with this then. The Florida statute says that it means an exhibition means a boxing, kickboxing, or mixed martial arts.
You saw the exhibition of Floyd and Logan.
Okay.
So just go with that, and if they weren't trying to hit each other,
Fair
then
enough.
tell me they weren't trying to hit each other.
What do you think Tank's gonna walk in at? 160?
That's up to Tank. What I can tell you is Tank is focused on coming in the best shape of his life. It's not about gaining weight. It's about having the speed advantage.
What can we expect on the UNCUT championship fights?
Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, we'll announce 5 fights, 4 of which are title fights. So yes, you can expect to see another MVP fully stacked card. No prospects on a big show like this. Yes, go ahead. As in, how do the fighters prepare?
You and as well as the fighters train with you as promoter.
I mean, look, we started MVP 4 years ago with the mission to be fighter first, right? And I think like this event is exactly that. We're giving Tank a massive platform and opportunity for the world to see who that young man is. He's misunderstood in many ways, but at heart, he is a great human being who has a family and wants to do big things to make an impact on the sport and take care of his family. So we're excited about that. And in terms of preparing for this, it's no different than Mike Tyson, than Taylor Serrano. It's just another big event that's on a global scale.
Keith, is there a rehydration clause at all?
No comment.